Everyone. I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m.
Alexa can go ahead and read the preamble.
Great, thank you.
This meeting is compliant with the Ralph M. Brown Act as amended by California Assembly Bill number 361, effective September 16th, 2021, providing for a public health emergency exception to the standard teleconference rules required by the Brown Act. Purpose of this is to provide a safe environment for the public, staff, and committee members while allowing for public participation. Accordingly, the public may observe IDEA committee meetings and/or address the committee members using remote public comment options, or have the option to attend IDEA committee meetings in person. Please be advised that committee members may continue to participate in the meeting remotely. Committee may take action on any item listed in the agenda. To address the committee in person, come to 50 Park Place, large conference room. Masks are no longer required but are highly recommended in accordance with the California Department of Health guidelines. To maintain public health and safety, please do not attend in person if you're experiencing symptoms associated with COVID-19 or respiratory illness. For remote participation, members of the public may participate in the IDEA committee meeting by logging into the Zoom webinar listed below. Archived videos can be replayed on the city's website, brisbaneca.org/meetings. Please be advised that if there are technical difficulties, the meeting will nevertheless continue. Agenda materials may be viewed online at brisbaneca.org at least 24 hours prior to a special meeting and at least 72 hours prior to a regular meeting. Meeting participants are encouraged to submit public comments in writing in advance of the meeting. Aside from commenting while in the Zoom webinar, the following email and text line will also be monitored during the meeting, and public comments received will be noted for the record during oral communications and during an item. Email ipd@brisbaneca.org or text 628-219-2922. Join the Zoom meeting with the meeting ID 816-0979-9931, and the call-in number is 1-669-900-9128. If you need special assistance to participate in this meeting, please contact the city clerk 415-508-2113. Notification in advance of the meeting will enable the city to make reasonable arrangements to ensure accessibility to this meeting. Thank you.
All right, so I think we're going into roll call. We have two members who have resigned the IDEA committee. And so in addition to former chair William Locke, Christian Bustos as well. So we'll update the committee member list accordingly. And staff, if we can go into roll call, please.
Okay, we have Chair Horton.
Here, present.
Vice Chair Kolhatkar. Oh, was that oh, I can't. Are we able to hear Mangesh? I'm not able to hear him.
No.
Let's see. How about committee member Naida?
Here.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Okay, yeah, here. Sorry about that.
Committee member Seto.
Yes, here.
And then we have former committee member Bustos here just to share some words.
Here, present for the last time.
So Christian,
Yeah, thanks. Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, just we wanted to just give you the opportunity to like see you later to the committee, and let them know your decision about the future.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, thank you for allowing me to be on the committee last year. It was definitely an experience, and being a Brisbane resident and working in Brisbane, it allowed me to be more a part of the community and the city and getting to know everybody. Yeah, it's been an honor working with y'all for almost a year.
So glad to be able to have had that opportunity, Christian, and I'm sure we're going to be staying in contact and working with you and your nonprofit Lyrical Opposition in coming year and years ahead. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Christian, for being part of the committee for the past year. In and out of the committee, you're doing very valuable work to the community. So keep it up, and thanks for everything you do.
Ditto.
Thank
Thanks.
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you. Wow.
So you better stay in touch, Christian, and keep us accountable here. The A for accountability.
Sure. I might show up in the meetings as a resident. So, yeah,
That's true. A council meeting too, first and third Thursdays.
for sure. I'll be in touch. I'll still be active in Brisbane. I'll see everyone on the streets
That's
and at the
good.
restaurants. and all
Thank
that
you.
stuff.
Thank you for all your hard work. I mean, we worked with you within so many idea events and we just kind of jumped in there. It's our first year, and so I don't think we could have done or survived our first year and have had such innovative events and ideas thanks to your contribution. So thank you so much, Christian.
Sure. Thank you so much for being open to them.
Hi, Christian.
Yeah, bye.
Always on the
Yeah,
move.
Thank you.
All right, Seacrest out.
All right, so we will update the committee member list accordingly. And can I now get a first and a second to adopt the agenda as it stands? Anyone?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Who said second? Sorry. Oh, okay.
And then,
I'll do a roll call.
oh
vote.
yeah, sorry.
Committee member Horton,
I,
Polhekar,
Aye.
Naida,
Aye.
and Osato.
Aye.
Thank you.
okay, and can we get a first and a second to approve the minutes of the idea committee meeting of January 18th, 2023?
Yeah, once again, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Your roll call vote. Chair Horton,
Aye.
Vice Chair Polhekar,
Aye.
Member Naida,
Aye.
and Member Osato.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, is there a member of the public wishing to make a public comment?
There are no participants at this time.
Okay. So we can move on to old business. I think we were going to get a staff report for the presentation on AB 2449 and conduct of meetings through February 28th, 2023 and thereafter.
Thank you. I'm going to try to share my screen now. So this is a continuation of our discussion about our new remote meeting participation after February 28th, 2023. And this is in connection with a memo we received from our legal counsel earlier in the year. So if you remember, we talked about ways that members can participate, right? So this is basically a visual representation of the memo and what it will kind of look like in its implementation stage. So this is kind of like if you could picture what it would be like in our meetings in March and so forth. These are the ways that you can participate. Committee members, commissioners, and council members, these are the ways that all the members, all the legislative bodies can participate. So the first one is the member can attend in person. So the first part of this is like for members, the meetings are held in person at 50 Park Place. So in this case, our meeting will be in the large conference room where Caroline is right now. So staff just has to make sure that there has to be a quorum for that legislative body. For it to constitute a meeting under the Brown Act, it has to have quorum. The other thing that you can do if you are unable to attend in person is to be absent and to have a no-show. We provided an attendance policy in the committees and commission policy from resolution number 2013-12. So I'll forward that again to the group. So we just have to be familiar with the absentee policy and abide by that. And then a member can also attend virtually. And one of the ways you can do that is under the just cause provision. And for the just cause provisions, this has to be for childcare or caregiving of a child, parent, grandchild, grandparent, sibling, spouse, or domestic partner, a contagious illness, a need related to physical or mental disability, or travel on business of the local agency. So it has to be within those provisions. And then you just have to notify the legislative body at the earliest opportunity and provide a general description of one or more of the circumstances above. So you have to email, an email notice is sufficient. You have to send it to the chair, the city clerk, and the staff lead. So in this case, it'll be Alex, myself, and Caroline. And you just provide a general description of the circumstance. And this is just notifying people. Nobody, this does not need an approval. So for staff, you just have to make sure that the people, you have quorum, right? You have quorum with the people who are in person. So like, if the quorum is three people have to be in person, right? The just cause provision also applies to our subcommittees. If there's more than 2 members in the subcommittee, the majority of the members must be in person. Again, you have to, the staff will be receiving the email notice. And the staff has to remember to, like, all the votes must be conducted by roll call, just like what we usually do. Oh, the other thing to note is during the just cause provision, people are worried about like privacy issues. So you need not disclose any private or personal or medical information. And you are limited to using this provision twice a year for each legislative body. So in this case, you can use 2 just cause provision with the large, with the large idea group, idea committee meeting, and then you could use 2 per subcommittee that you attend per year. The other provision you can use to attend a meeting virtually via Zoom is to use the emergency provision. And there's no limit to this provision, but it must be a true emergency, such as a physical or family medical emergency that prevents a member from attending a meeting in person. So you have to basically email this request to the chair, the city clerk, and staff, and provide like no more than 20 words description of the emergency. You don't have to disclose any private, personal, or medical information. And the body must consider the request at the earliest possible time. So what that means for us is like during roll call, we'll have a standing item for the committee to approve any emergency provision requests. Again, for staff, you have to just make sure that there's a quorum of people that are attending the meeting in person. And then all votes must be conducted by roll call. Lastly, this is kind of one of the old school provisions from the Brown Act. So, the ones for just cause and emergency provision, those are all from the new policy of AB 2449. And this last one is attending the meeting by teleconferencing. And this is, again, an old provision from the Brown Act. It's how things were done pre-pandemic if people needed to be elsewhere during a meeting of their legislative body. So basically, if you could picture this, the Brown Act allows the member to attend a meeting by teleconference. So that means only audio, like just no video, only audio, by calling into the Zoom meeting. So the Brown Act allows a member to attend a meeting by teleconference if the member complies with the certain statutory requirements. The teleconference location is accessible to the public and the location is noted on the agenda. So we basically like post our agendas on the Fridays before our meeting. So if there's if there's a time when you feel like you need to attend the meeting by teleconference, you'll need to provide us with the location of where you're going to be taking it. And you need to post a notice during the meeting, to either on the door of your hotel room. Some people were saying it just has to be a physical notice that's posted on the location where you're taking the meeting. Again, for staff, there must be an in-person quorum. And then you have to post a location where the member will be on the agenda, and all votes must be conducted by roll call. I could provide more requirements and I could show you what that looks like. But I wanted to go over these FAQs real quick. And one of the FAQs actually discusses these posting regulations for teleconferencing. So one, are these the same procedures for attending subcommittee meetings? And so the requirement of the Brown Act applies to legislative bodies of local governmental agencies. So yes, these do apply to subcommittee meetings. So this includes standing committee meetings, but not ad hoc subcommittee meetings. Ad hoc subcommittee meetings are temporary. So we don't have those yet, but in the case that we do have ad hoc subcommittees, just know that this is basically a subcommittee, but they have a specific purpose and time frame to accomplish that purpose. So right now we don't have any, but maybe in the future we'll have ad hoc subcommittee meetings in an idea. So the ad hoc committees may, but are not required to comply with all provisions of the Brown Act. The other questions that I've been asked is what happens if there's technical difficulties during legislative bodies meeting? And we've had a couple of those actually already in the city council meeting arena. So for us, if there's technical difficulties, as long as the interactive audio is maintained, so that means even when the live stream or the cable channel is down, the meetings may continue and the legislative body may vote on an item. But if Zoom is no longer working and there's no interactive video or audio, the legislative body may not vote on that item, but they could still continue to discuss the item. And then when the power goes back on or the Zoom continues to work or becomes active, and that all, if the technical difficulty is no longer there, the legislative body must allow more public comment on that item before taking action on that item. The other question that was another question that was asked was if a legislative body has a need to do a site visit at a location, not at the community meeting room, what do they do? So when the meetings are held at an outdoor location, the body must first meet at its regular meeting place and then proceed to the outdoor location. As a practical matter, a member of the public could not attend that remotely. So accordingly, the agendas for those meetings should be clear that the meetings will not be conducted in a hybrid fashion. Okay, a couple more here. For teleconferencing, do I really need to post the agenda on the front door or hotel room or cooler at the beach? So apparently that's happened before. Someone has posted on a cooler at the beach because that's where they were taking the teleconference call. The legislature has never been willing as a body to change this Brown Act provision or to ask for a narrow interpretation by the FPPC or the courts. So if members of the legislative body are not attending but are participating, they must follow the law and post the agenda. So lastly, what level of detail is required to be shared when participating in a meeting under the medical exception of the AB 2449 provisions? Are we expected to share personal health information? So the answer is no. When a commissioner cannot attend a meeting in person but has a valid medical reason that allows them to participate remotely, the person must provide a general explanation of their medical reason. Should be limited to 20 words. Like, so for example, they can say, I am ill and my doctor has advised me not to leave the house until I am better, or I had a medical procedure and I'm not able to travel at the moment. So explanations do not have to disclose your actual medical condition, nor your specific treatment. So yeah, in March and for future meetings, we will all be joining Caroline in the large conference room unless you need to use the three provisions that allow you to participate and engage remotely. I hope this is more clear. I kind of like seeing it in like a table style so I could like visualize how this is all going to work out. Does anybody have any questions? So it's kind of interesting, the Brown Act provision where you have to post those agenda notices. But if there's ever a time where you feel like you need to do the teleconferencing, just reach out to me and I can work with you on how we need to do the notice. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Ingrid. So any committee questions on that? Okay, any public comment?
I have no public comment.
Great. Anyone want to have a discussion about this? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the presentation. And with that, I think we can move to new business. So we'd love the staff report on the presentation of city council goals and results, please.
Sure, I'll provide a quick overview of just what we are going to be looking at next. And it has to do with, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the fact that there are 5 different goals or results that are at the top of all the staff reports, and you see them there as well as on the website. But let's go over them so you can just get a look at them. Let me share my screen. These are things that the city council, oh, Ingrid, can I have the option to share my screen? Since 2009, that was when the city council first passed their first 2-year budget and started talking about performance measures, community-oriented performance measures. So it's been almost, well, like 15 years, but it wasn't until about 2016 that these various 5 council adopted community goals / results were adopted. And so these are what you would see on the top of all the different staff reports at city council meetings. The staff takes a look at these and tries to see what their report most aligns with. Just to also remember what's the purpose of what we're doing. Stuart, it was very, very integral in the formation of these. So I would be remiss to not mention that it has always been a huge passion of his to make sure that the staff are aware of the purpose of what they're doing and that they're not just doing it just because, you know, it's like it's just a mandate and that's what I have to do, but to really think about the purpose of how it best serves the community. And so Ingrid and I and another staff person, our HR administrator, went to a training that the county held a few weeks ago. It was called Advancing Equity, and it was just a chance for different cities to come together to talk about what they're doing. We talked about IDEA. There were a lot of the other cities there talking about what their equity officers, they actually have like a designated equity officer and what they're doing in terms of looking at policies and just making sure that there's an equity lens in each of those. And so it's a very big project for them. But we thought maybe just looking at our 5 council adopted community goals / results with that same type of equity lens and with the IDEA committee, that would be the most appropriate, of course. And so these are just the line that follows each of these is a short version, just kind of similar to how when we were working on the definitions of IDEA, we had kind of a longer one for diversity, but wanted to have it more concise. And so we might need to spend more time to really look at these, especially if you haven't seen these before, but I'll just go through them. So the first one is safe community. And in essence, residents and visitors will experience a sense of safety. Community building, Brisbane will honor the rich diversity of our city, which includes residents, organizations, businesses through community engagement and participation. Ecological sustainability, Brisbane will be a leader in setting policies and practicing service delivery innovations that promote ecological sustainability. Fiscally prudent, Brisbane's fiscal vitality will reflect sound decisions, which also speak to the values of the community. And lastly, economic development, Brisbane will work with businesses and residents to provide for economic vitality and diversity. Again, these are on the city's website under City Council, but we just wanted to see what the committee thought in terms of if you were to look at these, because they were from 2016 and haven't been really revisited since. If there's aspects about any of these that you would think could be improved upon, and I think that this is something that we can bring to the City Council liaisons with the IDEA committee, and then any changes that the IDEA committee recommends, and then have it be reflected with updates on our website and our staff reports and what the residents are seeing when we're doing the city's business. So I have a Word doc here that I've turned on track changes if anyone's ready to discuss this. The thought was to first start with these statements and see what the IDEA committee wanted in terms of any suggested changes with more of an equity focus. And then we could also, with the policy subcommittee, look at performance measures and how, since accountability is a large part of how we're going to ensure that we're doing the work that we set out to. So we can, there haven't been performance measures devised yet for these goals and results. So that could be something that the policy subcommittee can work on at a later point. But we thought that it'd be nice for the full committee to just have a look at these together collectively.
Thanks, Caroline. I guess maybe this is expanded, as you mentioned, that these are sort of like the shortened versions, but the
Mhm.
first thing that I'm struck by is I wonder, like, the word safety, if there's a descriptor of like physical safety, emotional safety, like what, or something like if it could be expanded a little bit to include more than just safety. I think maybe, or particularly from like the idea committee, I think it's important to express it's not only, it is physical, it's also like safety of your beliefs, or, you know, I don't know, just maybe like a little more expansive.
Right, and I would say that when in 2016, it was more so just focused on physical safety and maintaining adequate resources and responding to emergencies
Mhm.
and safety risks. The city anticipating, preparing, and responding in order to mitigate incidents. So yes, very much just geared towards physical safety. So that's a very good point that we don't have that expanded beyond that right now.
And then I guess I have a question that is maybe a little outside of the idea remit, but it strikes me too that the like ecological sustainability and economic development principles could come into conflict with each other. And I just wonder, is there like a ranking, or I mean, if there was some like awesome new business development opportunity that was going to be like really bad for the environment or something, like how it, I'm just curious how these principles like are weighed against each other.
That is a good question. I'm looking at just some more definitions that were originally thought about when these were culled down and distilled to these more simple statements. And yeah, ecological sustainability, it does talk about increasing, protecting, and maintaining open space, creating a biodiverse habitat for future generations, and being a leader in the use of clean energy. And then in terms of economic development, it does have a descriptor of provide for sustainable growth, which is dependent on the preservation and replenishment of natural resources. So yeah, there is that possibility of them coming in conflict, if you will.
I was just curious more than.
Mhm. Another part of economic development has to do with stabilizing and diversifying the tax base.
Oh, and are we trying to do real-time edits to this?
Oh yeah, I could. Should I write?
The safety, the part about safety.
Mhm.
I agree with Alex with that. And I was just wondering, like, with all of these, if we can find a way to use the words in the idea title, like express a sense of safety and a sense of inclusiveness within the community or something like that. And with all the others, maybe somehow using part of the title and see how that can be
I think that's
expanded.
And the other types of safety that you were naming was,
Oh, I don't know. Physical, emotional, mental.
Okay.
Yeah, to add to that, in fact, do we want to consider adding healthy and safe community? Because one other thing that seems to be missing is promoting good health, and wellness in the community.
Mhm.
So I think that's also should be an important principle. So we do have a very good parks and rec. We have great, health and recreation facilities. So I think that should somehow be incorporated, woven in here.
Try not to define something with the same words. Yeah.
There's a restriction.
Hmm?
So there's a limit on the number of words, is it?
No, just like sometimes it's so hard to define something without using the same words.
Right, yeah. But now we're just brainstorming, we just jot down the
Yeah.
ideas and maybe later on you can, well
Right.
craft it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe in community building too, we could add, Brisbane will honor the rich diversity of our city, residents, organizations, businesses, and strive to create inclusive and equitable environments, experiences, opportunities. I don't know, some sort of like, I really like Miyoko's call out to like, how can we sort of diffuse the idea words throughout these.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, what equitable community experiences.
Yeah, I'm trying not to use, to your point, like not use community over and over.
Uh-huh. I like that word experiences. That did come up in some of these extra bullets as Stuart did think about or ponder some potential measures for future. And some of them had to do with interactions facilitated for community building. Yeah, opportunities provided or facilitated. But yeah, experiences is another way to say that too.
And in community building, apart from just, honor the rich diversity, do we want to promote, strengthen, and enrich the diversity of our community? Take a, that shows a little bit more proactive stance.
I like that.
Honor is a noble goal, of course, but in addition, moving one step beyond that, where we're promoting, enriching, and enabling it to thrive, strengthening and fostering. When that's evidenced by the very fact that this idea committee was created.
Mm-hmm.
Great words, good words. Mm-hmm.
So I guess this feels really radical. Oh, please, like, tell me that's too much, but I do, with the economic development, I don't know, I wonder if there's something to be said of like Brisbane will work with businesses and residents to provide for economic vitality and diversity, like while recognizing historic prejudices or, I don't know, not to say like reparations, but to recognize that like there hasn't been equal opportunity in the past. And so that we have an eye to that when we think through economic development. I don't really have like the words, but I guess have an idea of like being explicit around, and I don't know if that's, and again, I don't know if that's something that city council is like ready to embrace or take on.
Historical
inequities and
Yeah.
access to economic opportunity or something.
And what opportunity? Sorry, could I?
In historical inequities in
Oh,
economic opportunity.
got it. Thank you.
While recognizing the historical inequities in economic opportunity, with an attempt to provide redressal where appropriate, yeah. Which may make it a bit wordy, but
Provide.
redressal, REDRESSAL, yeah, which is kind of a more not better way than saying reparations, redressal.
Am I spelling this right? Can you spell that again?
Yeah, you're right. You're on the right track. SSAL, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. In time?
Where appropriate. Where
Oh, where
appropriate.
appropriate.
Yeah. That way it's taken into consideration, but at the same time, it's evaluated in fairness.
Mhm.
One other thing that seems to be missing, and maybe it's not relevant, but I think it's important, and that is basically education for the youth and education for the community at large, right? So is there a reason it's not captured here? Providing education opportunities, and this city should be promoting and having some focus on providing educational opportunities for not only the youth and children, but also for adults in the community. So, or is that something that's kind of in within the context of community building?
That's what I was thinking. I was going to ask, like, what the end goal of the educational events that you're thinking is.
Right,
Or-
because it's an important dimension of a healthy and vibrant community, because you're investing in the future.
I think the scope
Continue,
of
sir.
work is more kind of focused towards like school districts or schools per se, in terms of like just the word or just the mission of education.
Okay.
But I have heard like the Park and Rec department really talking about, their work around preschool,
Mhm.
and after school programming to really be about safety, providing safe spaces for our youth to grow.
Yeah, I wonder if you could, Mangesh, if you could like build out the, like strive to create inclusive and equitable experiences and interactions through community engage, like, and then parentheses, including like educational or youth development opportunities.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
To like, because I think, right, that's sort of what it's like, so that everyone grows up with equal opportunities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Opportunities. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. So I think we got quite a bit there. Is it possible to share this draft with the committee so that we can continue to work on it, or does it need to go straight to the council now?
No, if the committee wants to work more on it. I know it's kind of a lot to ask to do and like right on the spot. So if more ideas pop into your minds, then
Yeah,
feel free.
what's the timeline on this? Is it possible to like have until the next meeting to think through other changes and then suggest them then, or is this like has to be done now?
Mm,
There's no timeline, but I think we would want to create kind of like a framework by the end of the year.
Oh, okay. So maybe we can we can take some time and then come back and add that to the agenda at the next meeting to provide additional feedback.
I think what's really going to be difficult is figuring out like how to measure them
Mm-hmm.
as a city. We were thinking about having the policy subcommittee take a look at this further next month, but since there's only a few of us, maybe we could just do it as a large group next month. What do you think, Caroline?
I think that sounds good. Yeah, I know Diane said she wasn't gonna be available next month. But maybe that's,
14th.
I don't think I will be either. I'm traveling on 14th.
oh, maybe we can move it up then.
Actually, yeah, further out would be better. But if it's
Further
possible
out.
to push it out by a week.
Um,
We
is
can,
that okay with Diane? She's gone.
I am only available from March 1 to 10.
March 1 to 10.
But you're gone the 14th or the end of the month.
Right.
Mm,
Ah, I see. Okay. So if we do it the week prior, that's going to be the 7th, right? Wednesday.
oh, yeah, the 8th.
Oh, the 8th rather, yeah.
Is the Holly celebration on?
Oh, it is holy. The library, we're gonna talk about that later on the agenda, but there is that at 3:30.
Well, what we could do is just, we could cancel next month's meeting and then regroup back in April.
That's better.
Because what we were thinking too is more, or hoping that the new
Mhm.
members get
Mm.
interviewed
Okay.
Right.
by April.
Yeah. How is that looking? Are we getting
We need you guys to reach out to
competitive?
all your friends and let them know. We've received one application so far. It's a great, we have a great applicant, but we need more.
Right.
Okay, we could continue this conversation in April.
Mhm,
Great.
sounds good. But this is a great start. Really good start.
So the city council isn't too shocked by our recommendations.
What we'll probably do is meet with the liaisons first and have them give feedback and until it's ready to be shared with the larger group, the entire group.
But we would have all the idea committee members meet with the liaisons. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good opportunity to develop relationships
Mhm,
with the liaison.
mhm. Okay, sounds good. I'll still send this out though. After maybe making a little bit of some cleanup and then.
We can't have email
Discussion.
conversations about it, but yeah. Thank you.
Right. No email conversations, but we can, once we provide our inputs, we can send it directly to Caroline, right?
Mhm,
Mhm.
Yep,
Okay.
All right.
thank you for your input. Right, on it.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you.
All right, so moving right along,
Mhm,
good segue, I guess.
Yeah.
So can we have a staff report on the request for the Holy Celebration, please?
Yes, so the library is really excited. They have been wanting to do a beginning of spring festival of colors celebration with the painted powder or the powdered paint, I guess. And they reached out wondering if someone from the idea committee wanted to have a presence at this event that they're shooting for on March 8th at 3:30 p.m. It's a Wednesday at the community park. And 3:30 is a good time for the after school crowd and the kids to get to the park by that time to participate. So that's why it's at 3:30. I know it's kind of in the middle of the afternoon, but it sounds, have you guys seen pictures or are familiar with the powdered paint and how it looks? I can show a picture if not, but you do get a little bit messy, it seems. I don't know if it stains though. I'm not too familiar with it, but I'll just show it really quickly. It's like this. Has anyone participated in this before? And
All throughout my childhood.
throughout your childhood, Mangesh?
Yes. It's one of the most fun events as a kid,
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks
so
super fun. and
Splash
just-
colors, colored water, and yeah, it's a great community festival, and it's celebrated in different forms all across India. And it's called Holi in the north, in the south it's called Pongal, and the different versions of it. Basically, it heralds the onset of spring, and
Mhm.
with it kind of the community together to pray for a good harvest, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, they did say you may want to bring a towel or extra clothes.
Yes, and wear old clothes.
Wear old clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want a T-shirt that wouldn't mind getting tie-dyed, like.
Yes, make a beautiful mess with your friends is the description. So.
Yeah, we're not going to be here. Otherwise, my kids would love to participate.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
not gonna be here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
I can do it, and I can bring Rosie
Oh, yeah, great.
early from daycare, and I'm sure she will love it.
Yeah, like really? We can throw this all over our clothes?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
And you have
anyone
2
else?
participants. I would like to participate too.
Yay. Okay. Yoko, Alex, and Rosie. Probably be out there too to take plenty of photos and videos and post it. So
Do we have any
Expect
more of the stickers?
we do.
Can we bring those too? Maybe pass them out?
Mhm. It's actually what I used for the Facebook post tonight about our meeting. So stickers. Yeah, I don't know about an actual booth or if there's going to be, maybe there can be a table off to the side. Is that what you're thinking, Alex? Just like,
I don't know.
yeah.
If we have extras, it might be a nice opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
engage people.
Yeah, maybe some of our brochures too. We can have a little setup. It doesn't get all ruined.
Yeah,
off to the side.
I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want it to be presumed that like we were hosting it or anything, but just
Right.
the community event to sort of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
share.
Right. I'll see if Park and Rec or the library is going to have any sort of display, and if so, we can just like collaborate on something together in the same area or same table. But yeah, March 8th at 3:30 in the community park. So look forward to seeing you there. Sorry, we'll miss you, Mangesh.
Yeah, we're just going to miss it. Yeah, but I'm sure it'll be
Yeah,
fun. So encourage
yeah.
everybody to participate. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that this has been done with the library before, so it's great to have all these partnerships with them, especially in the 2022, we partnered a lot on ideas, events, so it's great.
Terrific.
Okay, so that's that.
I just hope we don't have an Arctic cold wave like what we are experiencing right now.
What was that?
I hope we don't have an Arctic cold wave like what we're experiencing right now.
So is there water involved in this, or is it just the
In,
powder?
in India, there is, yeah, colored water typically here.
Uh-huh.
And,
Oh, wow.
so yeah, you just they have these, the pistons, and then you spray water, colored water on one another. Yeah. And then of course you toss the powdered color as well. So it comes in both forms. Yeah. Everybody, is colored beyond recognition at the end of it.
Carolyn, did the library want the committee to co-sponsor it?
I mean, they didn't have that specific request, but they were just wondering if someone from the IDEA committee wanted to be
Okay.
there.
Great.
Mhm. So, oh, Ingrid, your video. What happened?
Do you see my video?
Okay, now it's working.
Yeah.
But did you see, did all of you see that?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was just on my end. It was
Glitching.
glitching. That was so
Gotta
glitchy.
be a camera that does that every meeting. But,
Well, but this like is the last one, right? Because next time we'll be in person.
I guess so, but I think we're still gonna host a Zoom in here, so
Mm,
people could join. Mhm.
Okay, well then, shall we move on to scheduling subcommittee meetings?
So it looks like there won't be any subcommittee meetings in March, but we hope to have, we'll cancel our IDEA meeting, committee meeting in March and resume back in April,
Great.
hopefully with new members.
Yep.
All right, so any other staff announcements?
Yes, we do have one that, if you happen to catch the February 2nd city council meeting, there was a presentation from Anne O'Brien. She's with the Center for Age-Friendly Excellence, and the council directed staff at that meeting to move forward to work with the Center for Age-Friendly Excellence, or CAFE for short, to apply for the Age-Friendly Communities certification under AARP and the World Health Organization Network of Age-Friendly Communities. So Nicole Houghton in the Parks and Recreation Department is the lead staff on working with Anne O'Brien and a community task force. And so Nicole reached out to ask if anyone from the IDEA committee would be interested in being on this age-friendly initiative task force. Their first meeting is next Wednesday afternoon around 3 p.m. They're still working out the time and the location, but around 3 p.m. and it might be at the Sunrise Room. That's our senior Sunrise Room at the corner of Visitation in Old County. So that just happened. And then I was like, Ingrid and I were saying we can ask the committee tonight to see if anyone's interested for that meeting next week. I know Mangesh is already serving on the Fairpoint Open Space and Parks Master Plan committee. So, but you're welcome to also volunteer for this if you're interested. I think if we get the certification, then it opens the door to apply for grants that are related to transportation or different things to help seniors in the community. So she said, anyone who's passionate about seniors and aging in place in their community, she was hoping that someone from IDEA could join them for that first meeting next Wednesday, 3 p.m.
Are all these, like this committee, is it every month?
I don't think about it needing to meet that often. At the council meeting, Anne O'Brien mentioned something about like the initial task force meeting, and that there might be smaller focus groups to focus on different topic areas such as like transportation and things of that nature. So I would say I'm not sure about like the frequency of the meetings, but it's probably no more than once a month.
Maybe I'll
Whether Mhm.
try for now. Maybe I'll join it.
Okay. Just check it out for that first meeting at 3
Mhm.
next Wednesday. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you, Miyako.
Excellent,
the-
Miyako.
I'm in the
Thank you.
aging field, so
Yes.
maybe this will be good for me to learn more too.
Yeah, you have a lot of
Excellent.
experience. to share.
That's what I was thinking. I was biting my lip. I was about to actually volunteer you, but I didn't want to put you in the spot. I was hoping you would
Yay.
you would do that yourself. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
interesting, but I
Yeah.
cannot participate any meeting before 5 or 6.
Mhm. Well, we're just glad that you're here with us.
Yeah.
Miyako, I'll pass along your email so that Anne O'Brien can reach out to you for more information about that initial meeting next week.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'll get all the information about it through her. Okay.
Anne O'Brien. Awesome. Thank you.
Great. Any other announcements?
I'll forward everybody the recruitment. Tell all your friends and neighbors. It could also be people who work in Brisbane that can apply. So applications are due March 1st at 7 p.m. So I'll forward that to the rest of the group to forward to their network.
Thanks, Ingrid. Any other staff announcements?
No.
Okay, any committee member reports? All right, I think we're all set then. I would like to adjourn the meeting at 7:04 p.m.
Alrighty.
Thank
See
you.
Great,
Have a
thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you.
Thank
On
you.
the 8th.
Take care. Have a good night.
All right. You
Good
too.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.